we rise to the top. Can't stop this flow. In the heart of the jungle, we're ready, let's go. In the heart of the jungle, we're ready, let's go.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Round Table here with Ben in a new studio.
Yes, sir. What's going on, man?
Another day. It's weird. It was weird. I almost texted you Friday because I was like, it's weird to not record on a Friday.
Fridays are nice, bro.
Because we've been recording on Friday afternoons for a while. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this is Friday. I was like, wait, we're not recording today.
We're not doing anything. What are we doing?
Oh, yeah.
No, it is weird. It's kind of nice, though. I'm honestly, we'll have to think with schedules and stuff like that. But Fridays work pretty good. So
I mean, with our upcoming changes, it might get a little all over the place, but
we're for it. This is what we're built for.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I mean, it's going to be great doing what we're doing and growing and all the stuff we've been talking about for the last 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that it's crazy to see how things evolve over time, right? Like we've had a vision for the pod, but then like all these other things have started kind of sprouting from that. Even the rucks that you started, was it last year? It's last year, right?
I think it was 2 years.
2 years?
We're gonna have to do another one soon.
Let's get it, man. Winter, because it was cold.
It was very.
So we'll have to do a summer one or something. Just start getting groups again back together, and
we'll do a spring one where it's kind of mildly warm.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Bring the kids along and stuff.
But even that, just get. And then your wife did the. Is it breath work? Is that what it was? No, it was what was it?
I don't know.
Sound bath.
Yeah,
sound bath.
That thing was cool. We're gonna have to do more of those.
We met Valerie, and then we met Jess. Was that one?
Yep.
Sounds like her name's Candace. The one that orchestrated it.
Yep.
So we met them, and they're all kind of doing their own thing, and
and
hopeful potential guests. All three of them, really, they're actually pretty awesome. All three.
I've gotten a lot closer to Jessica. Did breath work with Candace, and she's training, and that was. The more I open myself, which I know your wife is more on this side, but the more I open myself to like the universe and what it's allowing and showing me and the signs that it's giving me, it's freaking crazy. Like just thinking back of all the years, all the things, I'm like, man, if I had paid attention. But at the same point, it's all brought me to this point for a reason. Everything has brought me to this point for a reason.
It's 100% true.
I mean, I never in all the years would have thought, one, that I would have done the journey that I've gone through with my wife and watching her, and then going on my own through fitness and mental, and just back to kind of square one, relearning and just reevaluating everything in my life and just looking at it all with a different eye, a different vision, a different thought process. It's insane.
Yeah, I've seen that definitely. You start looking at it from a different perspective, right? Like your mind shifts from looking at it the way that you were used to doing it, and especially spiritually. Spiritual it's so vast, you know what I mean? And there's so many different parts of periods that you grow, and it is a great period to be in, Like I said, my wife's, a lot better at that than I am. She's been in tune with that for longer than I have, and it's great, it can open you up. And I think, if you believe in God or whatever, people say like, take that pressure off of you, put it on somebody else. How much lighter does the load feel when you're like, look, man, I'm in control of what I can control, and everything else is ordained into a certain aspect. And all I got to do is put my full effort forward. And, people find, what is it called? Like relief in that, they find clarity in that. So,
I mean, I can actually attest to that, because there's a lot of times that I've gotten pretty good at, because we'll go to the gym at night, do a heavy workout, because neither of us know how to go light on anything. And she has a step goal, and I'm so proud of her for sticking to all her goals and everything. And so she'll go walk on the treadmill for 30, 45 minutes, and I'll do a little bit extra weight, or I'll go sit, and they have like a cryo lounge, like cryo chairs.
I did see
they're
that.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Alternating heat and cool, and just let my body relax. And
that's cool.
I'll either put on like calming music or put on a meditation, or I'll go sit in the sauna and put on like an abundance meditation and just sit there and just really feel what's going through me and going through that, and the visions. And, with the breath work, I mean, I've done 3 sessions, and the first one I was like, I mean, I'm just here for the cold plunge. Like, breath work was cool, but it didn't affect me as much. And the second one was unbelievable. And then this last one, even though she was in training, I'm like, at the end, she's like, come back to the room. And I'm like, where the hell was I? I wasn't here.
Yeah.
Or like I could feel like her full touch on my feet, and she was clearly over by my side, up by my head, and I felt like she was still right there, like holding on, or, you know, she had put her hands on my head and was like, I think I talked about all this at once, but like, she's like, feel energy, and I like could feel all through my body, and like, but it was cool, like sitting there and then being able to have like, because it was a one-on-one session, like have a conversation with her about what I'd gone through, what I'd seen, and then like hearing different things from her. It was, the more I open myself, it's just more intense. And then that sense of relief, there's times, going back to where I was going with all this, there's times that I'll get out of the sauna and stuff and to get home, and I'm just like, it feels great. Like I feel drained, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Like all the negativity's gone, all the shit's gone. I'm just here. And for a minute, I can be fully present with everything going on. Listen to the laughter, listen to this, or, you know, just hold my family. And then, you know, everything goes crazy. Kids are running around, but it's still like, it's just draining. And I'm like, I feel good. I feel like I've let all the day go. I've let all the emotions go. It's time to just start bed and on to a new day.
Yeah, I love that, man. That's so cool. Well, I was gonna say, like, how much you talked about, you know, like how the perspective has shifted, right? How much of that do you think it like, you compare to the first time and now the third time, whatever, how many times you've done it? How much do you think of that is just you kind of stepping into it? Because I feel like maybe from my mindset, it'd be like maybe the first time you have a little bit of resistance, like, okay, what is this kind of whatever, blah, 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 skepticism, or, you know, kind of resistant to what you're about to experience. But as you do it more often, you're more open to feel that energy and feel that experience. And that could be for anything, right? But I think we're in this in general, like meditation and breath work, like how much you think of that is just you being more open to, like, wow, I'm actually here and I'm actually going to get the most out of it.
Oh, it's a lot. Being more open, just being around people, surrounding myself with people that think like that. I mean, we went and hung out with some friends, and I looked at my wife when we left, and I said, you know, I hope I didn't come across, at least to you, that I wasn't like having fun or happy or anything. They were all talking about things that I don't know yet, but I was very intrigued. So I was listening. I mean, granted, we drank, smoked, had a good time, but I was just overall listening to what everybody was saying, because they're more in that field and they're more deeper into it. So I'm like, I'm just learning. They're talking about like angel numbers and this, and I'm like, I'm over here, like my face seems like it's just eyes wide open, but it's just being more open and receptive to all of that information and all of that is around you. 100%. Just being more open to it has changed a lot of things. Because I even told her, I was like, the energy that was in that group of people that we were with at the end was insane. Like you could feel the energy was just fun and lighthearted, and we were all there to just have fun. Even though we were playing a game and we're like, we're going to be competitive, like it was fun. So it brought a whole different sense of me out. It brought the me that I want to be out. The happy, just fun, energetic. Yeah. I mean, we were playing a game, and I'm not very good at charades or anything, but I was like, okay, I got to get up, because energy was fun. And I'm like, I can't be the one that's like, I don't want to get up. I'm like, I just got to get up. Yeah. So I did it, and I crushed it. Everybody's like, that was awesome. So I'm like, okay, the next time, I'm like, all right, I'm ready for my next turn. Let's go. Yeah. Like, how am I going to do this? It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
So being more open and just receptive to all that information. I mean, I'm re-listening to Relentless. I'm looking at it right here. Mm-hmm. And then Extreme Ownership. Mm-hmm. And whole new things came. Yeah. Just being more open to everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can see this. I can feel this. I can understand this differently, better, stronger. Yeah. It was a whole new awakening.
No, that's a good point. And you bring up a solid point here where, you know, doing it repetitive. You do something repetitive. So even like reading the books or listening to them, whatever you want to, or a task or a habit, the more you do it, the more skills or the more things that actually pop out. So the moment I think you start losing that sense of like, willingness to grow is when you think, oh, I've read this book before, so I got everything I can out of it. You can read the same book 100 times, and I can almost guarantee you'll probably get 1 or 2 nuggets out of it every single time, a little bit different, or you might even see it from a different perspective based on what you're going through your life in that moment.
I mean, I've read Relentless like 4 or 5 times, and I've listened to it a handful of times, and still every time I'm amazed, even though I know what's coming next. I'm amazed the way he words it, the way he like describes it, the way he describes how I'm like, every time I'm like, new information. This is freaking awesome.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal.
It's great. It really is. But it takes that that you have to be committed to want to do that. You have to want to be committed to go to meditation. You want to be committed to hang around the people that have the light energy and the energy that's going to uplift you and not bring you down. It's like the willingness to do that has to be there. It's not like you can sit at home and be like, well, I want this, and it's going to come. Like, you have to go seek it.
Yeah.
Too.
The manifest is the word that a lot of people like to use, and it fits great. And I'm learning more and more about manifesting and how to do it and the ways to do it and what the process is and stuff, because it's deeper than just thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to Mel Robbins, and she explained it pretty well, where you have to visualize every step of it. You have to manifest the whole process, not just the end. You can sit and think for 25 years you're going to move to Florida, but if you're not manifesting or you're not thinking of all the ways how you're going to do it, what the steps are, the process, it's harder to see that end goal. So and learning more and more about it is just, the whole thing's crazy. But you realize how much of your world is involved in that.
Yeah.
And you just don't correlate it to that.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. No, my mentor always told me, like, and he uses the travel analogy too. Sometimes he'll be like, oh, if I told you, you're going to get to France, how are you going to get there?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, and he's like, well, it just depends on the vehicle, right? You have to choose the right vehicle. I'm like, well, yeah, of course. He's like, you got to, if you had a Ferrari, but you had a plane, you love the Ferrari, you're going to take the Ferrari just because you want it. I'm like, well, no, he's like, it all depends on where you want to go.
Yeah.
All depends on your end destination. It's the same thing with this. It's if you have an end destination, if whatever it might be, and I just was thinking because my wife wants to bake, but yeah, like to your point, like, yeah, if I'm like, I want to bake a cake one day, I want to learn how to bake a cake.
Got to know the steps. Got to know the process.
Yeah. And you got to actually do the process. You got to figure out, okay, I need this and this. Oh, I don't have a mixer. I should probably go get a mixer. So there's steps that involve action, not just like, oh, now I know what I need. Cool. Okay, we'll do something about it. Like, you know what I mean?
Even the business we're working on starting, I'm visualizing, okay, I can see the manufacturers. I can see them building. I can see them doing this. I can see this. I can see this. And I can see the end result of what I want it to be. I've been working on a vision board slowly, how I want it to be. But the way I was hearing it again, and I was actually watching Roman Atwood.
Mm-hmm.
He does like a day in the life, like daily vlog thing. And they did one on vision boards.
Mm.
And his wife had like kind of more the materialistic vision board, which is great. And he's like, all I can see is what I want. Like, he's like, I want bunker branding on there. I want Smile More Laundry. I want this. He's like, it's weird as hell to have my body on there, but I want the body that I want again on there. My top physical shape that I was in.
Yeah.
He's like, I want this stuff because when I look at it, I want to visualize. I want to be like, okay, what can I do for bunker today? Or what can I do for this? What can I do for that? And I'm like, that's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
Instead of looking at I want both. Instead of being like, okay, I want the Bugatti, I want the F450, I want this. Okay, I want all that, but these are the processes that are going to get me to this.
Yeah.
So having that mindset where I'm like, okay, I need a little bit of both here.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to have that vision board that has the toys that I want, but I want to have that vision board that's like, hey, this is how I'm going to reach that.
Yeah.
This is the goals. Like we were talking, the things we were talking right before. I had to figure out more about them. I want to sit down with you and Lance, like we were talking, and figure out more about them so I can start visualizing that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of this is going to incorporate into one big thing. And being able to learn manifesting and visualization. And I mean, it's limitless to say the least. It's limitless. I mean, and I was talking to my buddy before, and he's like, it was great learning to go outside of our limitations.
Right.
And I'm like, that's, again, a key. Like I'm getting messages or I'm seeing things that's like, okay, these are dominoes in this effect. When it all falls, it's all going to be perfect.
Things line up, man, and there'll be roadblocks, right? And I'm
Oh,
by no
yeah.
means a guru, and we've said it a long time
Yeah.
when we first started, but I think it's easy to get lost because we talk a lot through the things that we've picked up on that we're getting better at, and we're starting to implement some of these things. And as things grow, as things change, you will see those things flourish and
Yeah.
come out of those roots. But I think people will need to understand, like we speaking from things that we've learned from people that are successful or that have that fruit on the tree that we want to apply to our lives, right? And I think, it's true. Like like back to the guy that told me about the flight. He's like, always have the destination in mind. That's really what you need to remember. He's like, because if you have the destination at the end in mind, you work yourself backwards. Okay, like I need this, and this, and this. You start figuring out, and then, like you said, like if you the vision needs to go a bit deeper sometimes than your materialist. The materials are fun. I mean, I love those things too. But yeah, if you attach an emotional thing to it, like, hey man, I'm gonna put my brand on that thing. I'm gonna have my wife sitting down in that, F450, and she'll be riding. She'll have whatever she you picture what she's wearing. My kids gonna be in the back laughing their hearts out. Ben will be next to me in his same one. And he'll be, those types of things are the emotions that be like, okay, now what do I got to do to go do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or with the foundation and stuff like that. Like if you can physically feel and see people's faces and emotions, the raw emotions you'll get during that process, one family in itself will make me never stop again.
No. Oh,
Because
100%.
that one feeling would be like, I can replicate that. I can do that because I know what it felt like when I was a kid. So it's like replicating that. It just,
I mean, there's guys that have done, Heavy D and those guys have done massive toy foundations at
Yeah.
drives and stuff. And it's like the amount that they can help obviously is way bigger than we're going to be able to help right now. But also, if we start building this, we could be working alongside these guys to be, just the best we can be. And it's about giving back to these people, giving back to these families. I mean, the best thing on Christmas for me is seeing those little kids open a gift.
Yeah.
The worst thing on Christmas to me would be not being able to provide that. So if I can do
Just never.
it's a no-brainer.
It's a
I mean,
no-brainer. But that emotion is what drives you.
Yeah.
That's a part of the vision. That's a part of, like you're talking about, back to your vision board, is having those emotions tied to it. I think, Roman kind of talking about that. That's his emotional state, is seeing those logos, seeing those things.
Yeah.
That's what, like the materialistic stuff is cool, but it's sometimes that emotional part needs to be part of it, because it's stronger than just being like, oh, I like that F450, and then next year there'll be a new one and be like, oh, well, that's outdated, I'll get this one. You know what I mean? So if you tie something that realistically you have control over,
You got to know when to put the emotions there, though, too.
oh yeah,
Like
you can't be up and down, man.
yeah.
You gotta
Yeah.
Yeah, it's vision board is cool, man. I mean, but yeah, going back to the original point, it's like, yeah, the more habits, the openness you have to do those things. Like, I wasn't always into vision boards. It's not something I grew up on. I got introduced when I met my mentor, and I was kind of like, that's kind of freaking weird. He had ours on his house and pictures and stuff, and we haven't put ours up. We just haven't had really put a priority to do it. But yeah, like now I'm like, dude, I want people to come into my house. I have people in other houses that come in, like, oh, what is this? Oh, this, and this, and this. This is kind of what I want to get. It's the house I want to get. And they're like, got some weird looks, but I'm like, hey, you quit dreaming, man. I'm never gonna stop dreaming. That's just me.
You inspired me. I mean, I shared some trucks on my Instagram that I never would have.
Love those trucks.
And I mean, that's stuff like I dream about, like on the daily, dreaming about stuff like that, like being able to buy stuff like that and drive stuff like that and whatever. I mean, because as a kid that loves cars,
Me too.
Showing up to Cars and Coffee with this badass vehicle, you're not only inspiring young kids, you're inspiring people that are there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, when I show up if I go to the Autorama that they have here in Utah, if I go there, I'm like seeing some of these people that have put hundreds of thousands of hours and money into these cars, and I'm like, that's beautiful. Like, I want to be that person that inspires that next person to be like, nah, man, I'm gonna have that. This dude has that freaking car. Okay,
Yep.
this is what I did to achieve that. Let's go. Let's grow. Come on, guys.
Yep.
The biggest thing I've been doing lately, guys, besides diving into that is trying to talk to more people, even if it's about tattoos. My wife's been giving me shit, but I'm like, look, I'm trying to talk to more people, and tattoos are a great way for me to do that because I love tattoo work.
Well, you know what, too? People that get tattoos get them for a reason usually.
Yeah.
There's a purpose, or there's an admiration for like
Yeah.
it's on your body.
Yeah.
It's permanent ink. It doesn't come off. So nobody's gonna be walking around with that tattoo and be like, "Oh, I love that." Be like, "Oh yeah, it's okay." Like, no, they're gonna be like, "Oh, thanks, man." Like,
Yeah.
everybody's. That's why we wear certain clothes. That's why we
Mhm.
get our hair did. That's why you get your beard lined up. Not just obviously to make feel better, but you hope that somebody be like, "Hey, man, I like your beard,
Yeah.
dude. Who do you go to?" Oh, dude, I got a cool ass barber like you posted today.
Yeah.
I have this cool ass guy, man. He's super chill, great conversationalist. He really cares about his clients. Go
Oh.
check him out.
Dude's legit. Last time when I got all cleaned up, talked to him, dude hooked me up with a drink even.
Yeah.
Like, and I even told him, I'm like, yo, charge me for it. He's like, nope, it's on me. Yo, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, and made sure to message him, yo, cuts killer.
Yeah.
Great conversation. Like, we back and forth. And it is genuine from his part and mine.
Yeah.
I show up there knowing I'm not only going to have a great conversation with this guy, but I'm going to leave looking fucking great.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. Like, I had some great conversations with the tattoo artist while he was doing mine, and I've had some great conversations with people about it.
Yeah.
Some of them was same thing. Like, we were coming to a machine, and I just happened to be walking around, and I was talking about how there was a point where a lot of people had like trees on their arms, and I'm like, yeah, kind of like this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, when you love the outdoors, it's what you do. And he's like, no, it's great, man. I love it. Like, that's good artwork. Like,
Yeah.
and we ended up talking for like 20 minutes while we finished our sets, just about tattoos and this and that. And,
Mm-hmm.
Another guy walk up, and I'm like, yo, that's a 6 sleeve. I was like, I could see some on his back. I'm like, yo, does that wrap your whole back? He's like, oh yeah, it's all the way down. Talk and find out Steve Aoki's cousin works at the studio he goes to and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's cool.
So I'm saying, man.
Like, I've seen him perform. Seems like a cool dude. Like,
Yeah. I love
his
that.
life seems like he's a hard worker. He's like, yeah. He was there one of the times he was there getting tattooed. He's like, I didn't talk to him, but he was there.
Wow, that's cool.
But the more you talk to people, I've met people that, show up I showed up Friday and went and talked to one guy, and same thing, all over a sleeve.
Yeah.
All over tattoos. Now me and him, whenever we see each other, what's going on, man? How's the mornings? How your family? How's this? How's that?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
I think people just want to be seen sometimes,
That
people
too.
want to be. I think, especially in the gym world, sometimes I feel like it's easy to just go in and get it done. And I think everybody just wants to be like, "Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I seen you here a while. You always seem
Yeah.
like you're getting it, bro." That's it.
Well,
People
that
just
wa-
want to be seen sometimes.
That was one of the guys. He's like, yo, I've seen you around a few times. He's like, I'll make sure to say hi. I'm like, yo, I got you too.
Yeah.
The next day, happened to see him. Yo, what up, man? How's it going? Same thing.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, what up, man? How's it been? Our other gym buddy. See
Yeah.
him occasionally, and he knows my wife too because we went on the ruck together. And he'll be like, hey, what's going on? How are you? How's it going? Sit and talk to him for a minute and stuff. And
Right.
it's been great. I mean, I've met some cool people throughout just talking to people. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I told her. I'm like, I'm working on getting better at talking to people because there's only one way it's going to happen.
Action, baby. That's it.
Talking to people.
Yep.
And whether it's about tattoos or whatever, it's all that matters.
It's just being interested, not interesting, man.
Yeah.
And if you're interested in somebody, I think they feel that. You know what I mean? If you got an agenda behind it, but if you're just like, look, man, I love you. Like you said, if tattoos is what it is, and you're into it, if they got them, they're probably into them.
Yeah. Especially,
So-
especially if you see a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and there's some that like stand out to you that you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That's-
It makes people feel good.
yeah.
God, if you want to
The
get
amount of-
called out, like, and be like, dude, that line work is sick. Be
Yeah.
like, oh,
the
thanks,
amount
man.
of freaking money people spend.
Yeah,
I mean, I know how much I'm into mine, and I'm on the lower end.
yeah.
Eventually, I'm not going to be, but I'm on the lower end.
Yeah,
Like, it's insane.
good for you, man. I think that's cool that you do that because it takes a lot to be the first person to do it.
Oh yeah.
But I think it also shows people, like you said, it just gives the people that opportunity to open up, and then you build a relationship. Even if it's just, hey, what's up, bro, every day, and then it turns into
Well,
like, hey, man, let's go hit the gym together, bro. Or you're here by yourself, come spot me or something.
Well,
I don't know.
that was one of the kids. He's like, yo, we met like 3 weeks ago. Now we're gymming together. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. That's your guys' challenge. Just go fucking compliment somebody on something, whether it's a shirt. I mean, you never know. The wife and I talk about it all the time. There's a handful of times if somebody would have said something to me, it would have changed my entire day.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I like your shirt. Yo, I like your sleeve. I like your hat. Whatever. It would have changed my whole day.
Yeah.
You know, when people come call it out, I'm like, I am wearing this for a reason. There is a reason. Not only do I feel good, it has a good message to it.
Yeah.
You know, or it feels good. It looks good. Whatever it is.
Right.
You know, it's what I want to wear.
Yeah, I agree with that. I love it, man. Well, I don't got much else, man. I mean, I think that's pretty much. We were a little bit all over the place, but I think it started with manifestation. It started with, you know, really sticking to the habits, and really just, you know, all kind of falls into like stepping outside of your comfort zone. Really,
Yeah.
we've always preached on that, and that goes into reaching out to somebody. You're trying that meditation, like you say, you gave them the challenge, and it's just picking those things up and be willing, the willingness to try it again over and over till if you know you're on the right path, it'll all kind of fall into place, and you'll be able to make it better. So
Absolutely. This went from just let's record something real quick and check everything out to let's go. And
yeah, I hope you guys like the new pseudo. That we'll add some things to it, but you know, thanks for Dustin to kind of help with this, and you know, it'll only grow from here. We'll start getting some guests going for you guys, and we're excited to have some people on and share their stories. We're really are super excited to do that. So
we got some good ones on the list.
yeah,
I know they're going to be great.
they're gonna be amazing. So
Thank you, guys.
thanks, guys. Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
The Round Table Podcast, where we talk to our personal growth, struggles, and journey.